welcome to Morning Coach today. I am so glad you're with us. Hey, it's JB. It's August 5th, 2024. It is a due month, and we're rocking and rolling here. I hope you're ready to get the week started off with some great energy because we got a good one. You know, this month's topics are so much fun because they're really about this, happiness and optimism and positivity. And I think it's important we have those things. And then validation. How do we get validation in our life so we know we're going the right direction? How do we know we're clear and certain that we're moving forward? Well, that's what we're doing together here. And I'm excited that you're with me today as we get going because we're going to have some fun. Now, remember our more metaphysical morning ritual. We want to take time for self-care. I know I keep telling you and harping on that, but it's something important we do. We need to listen to the Coach Cast. Get here, you're here, get the energy every day. You never know when you're going to hear that one thing that can change everything or bring energy or get you fired up, so we just want to make sure you're checking in here. We want to plan our day with this 7-piece. This is an important one. We want to have the proper perspective. We're going to talk about that a little bit later today. We want to set the daily priorities. We want to focus on improved performance. We want to always have patience. We want to keep great posture, get those shoulders back. We want to stay present and we want to persist. We then want to organize with the Get It Done Now planner. And I'm excited for those of you that have been with me using the planner and getting into it that we're doing some new things. Okay, so I just want to make a note of this as you do your Morning Coach morning ritual. Continue to use your planner, but we are creating some individual modules. I'm working on a health module. And if you're in the community, I'd love to hear like some of the things you're working on that maybe you would like a specific module that we don't have in the planner. So we're working really hard. We're going to have our standard, right? We're going to have this standard planner that everybody's been using for years and years and years. We don't want to take that away, but we want to make a highly individualized planner so that next year, going in 2025, you can have what you're working on and we can move things around and you can have a planner that will work for you. There's going to be some, there's a little bit of trials and tribulations with that, but we're working on it right now. So if you have a module like, hey, I want to write, could you put a writing module in there or a word count module? I'm anxious to hear what modules would you like, meaning what goals would you like to track in your planner outside of the normal areas that we have? Or is there an area that's just totally something that you're like, hey, it'd be really cool to have this. I saw it somewhere. Could you integrate this in? So that feedback would be really critical this month as we are in a due month and we're working on that planner. Okay, so excited this week. There's so many things going on, and we get into August, September, October. This is my excitement time because we're pushing to close the year end out with some great things. Maybe you started some new things in July. For me, I took on this running thing. I ran another race at 21:48. Time to get under 21. I got a half marathon coming up August 27th. I want to do that. And, an hour and 45 minutes. I'd love to do an hour and a half. I don't think that's going to be possible at 7:15. I don't want to say it's not. It's just, physically where I'm at, my body's starting to get there. I'm starting to train. It's almost an Olympic moment for me to do that, but I'm going to give it a shot. I'm going to try to do an hour and a half. That's 7:17 minutes, and I'm doing some sprint work and getting there, but really having a lot of success. I finished 14th overall in my last race, which was awesome. And again, I'm just doing this. This brand new stuff that I started about 90 days, maybe 120 days ago. No, it's about 90 days ago. So it's fun. Like adding things to your life is fun. And it just goes along with the topic is what is true happiness? Having goals, like going after things, living, creating. That's what life's about. Doing new things. What can you do? What can we do to get you off your rear end and do things? Now, don't get me wrong. We have a lot of people here that are doing a million things. I think Jurgen, he set his record for Pomodoros at 30-something the other day in the mastermind call, right? So we got people killing it and crushing it. And I get it. But maybe you're not. Maybe you are. Maybe this is the first time you ever heard me. And it's great to have you, and I want to thank you, whether it's the first time you've been with me 19, 20 years, for taking the time with me. I really appreciate it. Time is the most valuable currency, and you're here with me. And we're talking about happiness and joy, and I'm sharing some things I'm doing, and hopefully it inspires you to do more, because I'm going to tell you, life is short. Life is short. It goes fast. And you want to live the best life that you can, right? And that's what we're doing together here by helping you put a plan together. But there's a long-term vision here, okay? This doesn't happen overnight. It takes a day-by-day progressive system that you're building that is your unique system that allows you to live your big life, your best life, okay? So, and part of that is finding true happiness, right? Because we want to be happy, joyful people. Now, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that it's always that way. There are going to be dark days. There are going to be dark days. Okay, there's days I want to put on, some James Taylor and go into that darkness. Okay, without the darkness, there is no light. Somebody passes away, you were with me, in March when my father passed away. Didn't have a great relationship with him, but there were some weird moments. Grief is a weird thing, right? It is. It hits you in different ways. So it's not that you're going to be happy all the time, but we want to live the majority of our life in a joyful state. And when you want to be around people that are joyful and happy, not cheesy, but really joyful and happy. We're going to be talking a lot about that month and specifically today and this week. So this week, what we got is that. We're going to talk about happiness this week. We're going to talk tomorrow about a new book study. And Roxanne's going to love this because this is a book that I did years ago. And I'm bringing back my buddy Bob Burke's book, The Go-Giver, because I just think it fits with what we're doing. And so we're going to be doing The Go-Giver. You can find it up in the Compass. We'll be studying the first 3 chapters tomorrow. We're going to talk about finding joy in work on Wednesday. We're going to talk about technology and some of the things that are happening in there as far as happiness. Friday, we're going to talk about taking something old and making it new. That's going to be a fun day. Make sure you're Friday. Dr. Paul's been killing it on Saturdays. And then on Sundays, we're going to talk about spiritual joy and, of course, our weekend review. So excited. Let's find some happiness. Let's find some joy by doing things, by showing up, by executing in our plan and focused on things that are going to bring us happiness. So what do we got to do? Okay, well, first of all, understand that joy is your responsibility. Happiness is your responsibility. So years ago, I heard somebody say, if people are pressing your buttons, you're putting them to be pushed, right? So just let me say that again. If people are pushing your buttons, because you'll hear people say, stop, you know how to push my buttons, right? Which means it's getting you frustrated and angry. Well, you're the one that's putting the buttons there. So we've got to get in touch with us, right? That awareness, that emotional EQ that we talk about, emotional intelligence, and understand why are we feeling the way we're feeling? It's our responsibility to find happiness, even in the darkness. Sometimes you just need the light of a candle, and and all of a sudden the darkness goes away. It's crazy how much darkness there is in the world on what we focus on. So understand, it's your responsibility to find joy and happiness. It's your responsibility. It's you to understand why you're feeling. And then understand that joy is part of your nature. Like, we're meant to be happy. We're meant to be joyous. We're meant to create. That's why we're here. Now, I take it a little deeper, and I talked about it in my first book about experiencing it, but I do believe we are here to experience that joy, that happiness. I do believe we're here to experience other things too. That's just me and my personal belief, but I do believe in our nature is joy. And finding that's really important, and being more childlike, which is a very spiritual concept, but is also a very practical concept. Be curious. Enjoy life. Years ago, and now I'm working on my pilot's license. There's no secrets there. But years ago, I was in aerospace, and all of a sudden, I got this real fear of flying. I don't know where it came from. Maybe because I was around mechanics and engines all the time, and I would get in the airplane and I would hear things. And I'm very empathetic. Like I feel, I'm an empath. I feel the energy of everybody. So if you're in turbulence, it used to be disturbing to me. I would be like, oh my gosh, what's going to happen? And I'd be thinking, I know all the sounds, what's going on with the engine, the aircraft. And I wasn't even trying to be my pilot then. I was just in the industry. I was buying and selling aircraft. But I got this real innate fear where I quit traveling. I literally started putting traveling on the back burner because I just didn't feel like getting in that plane. I didn't like the feeling it was giving me. And then if I did, I would medicate. I would just drink until I was okay. And it was all mental. It's not a realistic fear, right? It just has nothing to do with realism because it's real safe. It's just the mental aspect of things. And really intelligent people sometimes have the hardest time with some of that because their brain just overworks, right? And I don't know if you've ever been there, but it's an illogical, irrational fear. But that doesn't mean the left brain isn't going to say, wow, who's up front? What's happening with the engines? You work on them. You know the people that are working on it. What happens if this thing falls out of the sky, right? So you're up there. So I had a real problem with that. And how did I overcome that? Is I found joy. How did I find joy? I found childlike joy. Instead of thinking about it as, oh, here, I've got to travel, I thought about it as the first time that I was ever getting on the plane as an 8-year-old or a 12-year-old. If you ever sat next to an 8 or 10-year-old that's going through turbulence and they're bouncing around and they look at you and go, man, I want to do that again. Right? It's crazy. And you're like white knuckling it. You see people white knuckling it and they're just like loving it. Like, woo, let's do that again. So I got that childlike enthusiasm for it so much now that I'm learning to fly. And I feel bad for people that just kind of close off in their life and aren't willing to experience new things because they're afraid of it or because they just get settled in, right? And for me, I'm always finding new things to do. Like running is now my new thing. And I'm becoming, somebody that, at my age category, 50 plus, 55, I'm becoming one of the good ones in there. And I'm going to be. I'm going to get down to sub 20 and I got a half marathon. I'm going to start running those and I'm having a blast, right? So it's new things. But again, bringing that childlike enthusiasm to flying, I sat on the plane. I was like, oh, I can't wait for turbulence. And I literally started thinking like that. And then I felt it. I'm like, oh, I'll do that again. And then I started thinking about it and enjoying it and just sitting around going, wow, this is the first time, feel this. Wow, this is cool. And now I actually enjoy not only flying, but also getting my pilot's license. I was able to flip that by understanding joy is part of my nature and becoming a little more childlike. Awesome stuff. It really works. It will change your life if you're struggling a little bit or you're afraid of something. Be a little childlike. Be curious. It will help. Okay, let's keep going. Put things in perspective is my next point. And what is our number 1 AM goal is to wake up and put things in perspective. It's just what people don't do in the world today. I see so many people, and I can tell you just from being in the HOA at Parkland Golf and Country Club, 840 homes. The average cost of the home was $2.5 million, and the majority of those 840 people were miserable. I had to get out of there. It was miserable. How can you be miserable living in a $3 million home, driving a Ferrari, having 2 kids going to private school, but yet you hate your life? They just don't have the right perspective. I wish everybody could fly to Colombia with me. Why do I love Colombia so much? You go in these little cities, pueblos, with people that just love their life. Their perspective is, I don't have much, but I'm going to enjoy what I have. We're going to talk about this on Friday when I talk about bringing something old and making it new. In Colombia, it's amazing. They'll take a toaster. In the United States and Europe, we'll throw it away. Throw it away, it's broke. Get another one on Amazon, $20. They'll take it and they'll make it better than it was before because they appreciate things. It's amazing how we get so stuck in life that we just don't have the right perspective. Many of us, I'm going to raise my hand. I'm guilty. I am guilty as charged. And that's why I say it's the first P. Because if you wake up and you realize the potential in front of you, you realize you could be childlike. You realize, like me, I took up running 6 months ago, or what, not even that, 90 days ago. Right now I'm running these 22, 21 minute, 21:30 is my best time, 21:40 was my last one, 5Ks. It's unbelievable. My body's getting in shape. What I always tell you, if you train for something and not train for the mirror, you look in the mirror and you go, damn, I'm looking good. Right? So it doesn't have to be perfection. It's about consistency, excitement, and enthusiasm and holding through the plateaus. Because when most people would have quit by now. Okay? And I've had my up and downs. I'm not going to say I'm perfect with my training. I'm not going to say I'm perfect with my plan. But we keep moving forward. Understand the sacred 6. Okay? So we keep going. Okay, a couple other things. So keep the right perspective. Really important. Move from the psychological to the existential. Ooh, that's a deep one. The mind is the mind thinks everything is important. You think what you feel is so important. And metaphysical group closure, put your fingers in your ears right now. But it is. But I want you to move away from just the mental aspect of things and start to experience life. Life is about creation, existential creation, seeing things other than just what you think's important. Okay? Metaphysical group, hey, we talk about holding a vision. Right? And seeing yourself change. This is very similar. If you continue the same thought patterns and you think everything you know and everything you feel is you're not able to rise above it. So understand, we want to move from the mind to the existential. We want to move from the psychological to the existential. Okay? Keep going. All right. We want to smile. Let's talk about something that's so easy to do that literally could change everything for you if you just start smiling more. I'm serious. It's really hard to be angry when you smile. Just smile right now. Smile. You can even hear it in my voice. I try to smile more when I'm on the microphone. But if you smile, you can't be angry. It's really hard to. So learn to smile, okay? Stop pursuing so much and start experiencing life. Start enjoying it. And the transformation that's going to occur with happiness and joy is from within. It's from within. So I want you to start feeling the energy of life and start experiencing it and having some fun because life is amazing. When we get caught up in all the minutia of it, it's when it pulls us back down. It drowns us. And true happiness comes from understanding that we can be happy, we can be joyful, we have that ability, we can do cool shit. But we've got to do it. We got to get our plan going. We got to take time for self-care. We got to listen to the CoachCast. We got to get our 7 P's in order, and we got to get our plan working. And that's what we're doing together. How cool is that? So let's start this week off with a bang. Let's have some fun. Let's get out there and have some great energy, and let's be a little more joyful and a little more happy. Okay? So I love you. Go do it to it. And I'll be back with more right here tomorrow on MorningCoach.com. Go be joyful. It is your birthright.